And I am with that, and I agree with that 100%. And my problem is not an issue of black racism. It's not about me being proud of my race right now, which I'm very proud, and I'm very pro-black. Okay?
We know that.
Okay. Well, that's not.
You established that, sir.
That's not the issue. My issue is ultimately is with hypocritical conservatives. That's who.
And I think that's that's a very fair analysis.
That's who my issue is with. Hypocritical white conservatives, because you ain't gonna find too many black ones. I mean, you got Michael Steele, but he's a monkey. He's a monkey. He's the epitome. He's the epitome of what white people consider to be a nigger. Okay, that's Michael Steele. Okay, so what I'm saying is conservatism. All of these conservatives, because if you go around and you ask people, if they took a poll, most of these people are gonna be conservative. Okay, most of these people that are here are conservative white people.
So you're more upset with the hypocrisy that you see that so many went along with all the crimes of the Bush administration, and you feel now that it's more. But I mean, are you upset with their hypocrisy, or do you feel it's more of a latent racism that they're attacking Obama? Because that's kind of, it seems. I mean,
let me give you a little bit of history. Remember when the Klan was at its biggest, when the Klan was at its biggest point, more so when it was growing. You know what they did? You know what the Klan did? They went to churches, okay, and they promoted values. Just like conservatives do, they promote values and say we're all about good values. And then, I guess whatever, they went home later, burnt a few crosses, and hung a few black people. But they were all about values, okay? Conservatives of today, it's always all about, it's so-called all about values. But they never completely stand up to these values.
They stand up to them when it's convenient.
Right,
That's what you feel.
When it's convenient. And that's what they're doing now with this rally. That's my problem with this. It's not with all white people. I walk and agree with white people that have a mentality that's based on facts, not based on a certain theology, because America, what conservatives try to make America to be, America is not an attitude. America is the people. Liberals are America, conservatives are America, and they all say this, we love America. These liberals try to destroy it. Those liberals are America.
Well, let me make a point. Martin Luther King, great man, right?
Somewhat.
Malcolm X, great man, right?
Man.
Great leaders.
Great.
All right.
Malcolm X, great man.
Great
man, but misguided.
Well, have you ever read both of their last speeches, the very last speeches that they made? Both of those speeches focused on the idea that it was no longer black and white, but it was about rich and poor. It was about people with power and people without power.
Right.
And then what happened? They were dead.
They
were
got
dead because they'd moved past race politics, and now they were a threat to the system. See, those men could never be allowed to become president. Those men could never be allowed into positions of power by the establishment.
Right.
So now I ask you, Barack Obama, he's the president. Do you really believe that the establishment that has murdered your people, enslaved your people, and now seeks to enslave and murder the entire world the same way it's done to your people for generations, is going to allow somebody in that's actually going to resist that system and fight against it? Or are they going to bring somebody in that's going to re-energize it, give it new blood, new face, and a new way?
No, I don't believe they would let somebody in that would go against their agenda. And let me make this clear again. I'm not pro-Obama in that way. I'm pro what Obama stands for as far as my race.
Which is a noble thing, which is a good thing.
Yeah. That's it.
But how far will you allow that? And this is an open question. I don't know. How far would you ever allow that if Obama started to do things that you felt were morally wrong? Where do you fall on the spectrum? I mean, how long would you support him if you started to see him do things that you just could not agree with?
Well, that depends on what you call on supporting. I mean, what you call supporting him. When I talk about, I guess this is what I'm doing to so-called support Obama. Just run my mouth. I ain't gonna give him no money. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be the one voting on any of his policies. So I don't know what you mean by supporting him.
Just supporting him in your mind. Just supporting him in your mind. It doesn't matter whether you're gonna go.
It's in my mind. I'm supporting my race, man. That's
But
what
how?
I'm
But how?
supporting.
But how would you support your race if your race started killing people and declaring martial law, continuing to give all of our money away to these corporations? I mean, that's my question: is would you continue to support him if he just starts destroying the country, which many people are afraid that he's doing? But it's not just him. I mean, I say Obama's a front man. The president
Is a puppet, is a mascot.
is a mascot, a spokesperson. They are a spokesperson, a PR person for the corporation that is the New World Order. So that's all my point is how long would you in your heart and your mind be willing to support him? How powerful is your pride of that, him accomplishing that versus what he actually does?
Let me see if I can explain this rationally. I grew up in a very racist America. It wasn't as racist as it was back then, but I grew up in a very racist America. If this thing is a sinking ship, anyway, regardless if Obama is in there or not, if this thing is a sinking ship, for me, it's a very large victory, and it's worth, if, like I said, if we're gonna go into martial law and all this stuff anyway, it's a very small victory for me, very large victory for me to see white people upset and hurt about there being a black president. That means more to me than what you can probably imagine because you don't feel the same way I feel about racism in this country. To you, it's just another bad guy pushing a bad agenda, okay? To me, it makes me smile when I see when I saw white people mad and crying that a black man was in office. You know what I mean? It makes me.
I understand where you're coming
You know
from.
what I mean?
I
I grew up in Tylertown, Mississippi. Okay, they didn't segregate my school until 97, 98, because when I was going there in 96, my school was still segregated. So it pleases me. It makes my heart flutter to see white people hurt because there's a black president. Any form of discomfort they get from that, you gotta understand.
That makes me
That's
really
real.
sad because what
Why
that
does
is,
that make you sad?
because that means that this same system that oppresses us and has oppressed your people and now is oppressing us, it's put that anger in your heart. And even though you're righteous to have that anger, all that anger does is drive you apart from people like me.
I like people like you.
But see, I'm against.
I like you.
But I'm against Obama and everybody.
Right.
He's just
Just
one more.
because you're against Obama don't mean I don't like you or where you stand. I don't like where the racists stand. If you're not a racist, I'm not against you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
I'm not against you and your movement. In fact, when we finish with this, I want to be down with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm with y'all movement. I'm not against y'all. I'm against the racist mentality that people have. And if they operate based on racism, then that's what I have an issue with.
All right. Well, then
Not your movement. Your
then-
movement is very noble, it's very intelligent, very reasonable. I agree with it.
then you agree that it's death to the New World Order.
Death to the New World Order,
Death
baby,
to the
all
New
the way. And we gonna get down there, and handle that. So, sorry for breaking your